The awakening of the chosen. Being selected is a subject that evokes both wonder and duty in this intriguing and, at times, complicated spiritual cosmos. Prestige and ease of living are not guaranteed benefits of being a chosen one in this setting. Rather, it's an invitation to step up and be an agent of change, both in your own life and in the world around you. The teaching that, to whom much is given, much will be required, makes this obligation very apparent, which is fascinating. This biblical adage reminds us that with great power comes tremendous responsibility, and it is fascinating to see how this truth reverberates in the spiritual world. This implies that being born with exceptional talents is not a guarantee of happiness, but rather a ticket to a journey that will test your mettle. If you identify with the phrase chosen, then you're not alone in experiencing an innate sense of a greater calling. This perspective shows up when you realize that everything you've been through in life, good and bad, has a story behind it that isn't typical. As we progress on our spiritual path, we often realize that these experiences are not haphazard, but rather pieces of a bigger picture. Because of this, I keep in mind that even the most trying times may teach us something, reveal aspects of God's plan that we don't completely comprehend just yet. In reality, the highs and lows that life presents are integral components of this path. It is by them that we get the experiences that are vital to our spiritual development and growth. Being chosen also comes with hazards, however. Therefore, this is a warning we must not ignore. Staying alert to any obstacles that might derail us from our goal is of the utmost importance. Being a chosen one means being on high alert all the time, reflecting deeply on one's life, and being perceptive enough to recognize when someone or anything is trying to undermine the purity of this sacred calling. This is due to the fact that the gradual erosion of our chosen status may occur when we allow ourselves to get sidetracked from the things that really matter to us, such as our spiritual path, our vows, and the energy we have committed to. This constant watchfulness may be taxing, but it is the only way to ensure the continued integrity of this holy bond. The significance of the blessing and the weight is brought to light as we go through this enthralling introduction. Being in harmony with the divine is an ongoing process that demands deliberate action and attention. A spiritual connection is a blessing that needs care, nurturing, and even restoration from time to time. It's a gentle reminder that, while it's not a one-way street, the fruits of this dedication may offer contentment and meaning that triumph over any obstacles that may arise. Following and being faithful to this higher calling has a strong spiritual payoff. A stunning conclusion arises in light of this evidence, and it changes our understanding of the meaning of being a chosen one forever. Discipline, an authentic and continual care that steers us clear of the mist of doubt and toward our own spiritual north, is the way to keep our heavenly connection alive and well. Realizing that being chosen is both a privilege and a duty is almost poetic. Being chosen means accepting our human limits and the spiritual power inside us, and developing this connection with humility. We are shown the view of infinity between the lines of this spiritual awakening. The challenging and sometimes lonely road becomes a chance for spiritual and personal satisfaction on levels we cannot often fathom when we grasp this concept. It challenges us to muster an incalculable amount of bravery, yet it's within the grasp of those who are willing to face the threat head-on and do their best. Being a chosen means this very thing. Realizing you are a chosen goes beyond just acknowledging it. A profound and meaningful connection with divine energy and a dedication to a higher cause. It goes beyond this world and into the spiritual realm. In my view, the path of the chosen one is complex and multi-layered, demanding complete submission to powers and fates that we do not often comprehend in full. Reason being a chosen one is all about living in continual devotion to a divine calling, not simply about getting titles or accolades. There must be unwavering trust in the face of challenges along this path, in addition to self-discipline and sacrifice. An fascinating invitation to go deeper than meets the eye is to ask ourselves what distinguishes ourselves from others. Learning to live a life motivated by a greater purpose might help one see previously unseen significance. As the name implies, the chosen do not announce themselves to be such. Rather, they are assigned to this position by a power greater than ourselves. The thought that this calling might come to us in unexpected ways, whether as a soft murmur that leads us subtly or as a powerful shock that thrusts us into another. Have you ever stopped to wonder why, despite all your achievements, it feels like something essential is still missing? My name is Gabriel, and I've helped countless people like you discover the true spiritual power that resides within them. And today, I want to help you. If you feel like life is passing by while something important remains out of place, maybe it's time for an awakening. My audiobook, The Path of the Chosen, was created precisely for those who have reached this point. In this audiobook, I guide you to feel that enthusiasm for living in alignment with what truly matters, knowing that every step has meaning. Together, we'll transform your fears, traumas, and frustrations into powerful strengths that propel you to a new level of growth. Leave behind the feeling of spiritual isolation and find the peace of a true, constant connection with a greater energy that has always been by your side. Instead of fighting against what you feel, you'll learn to find purpose, serenity, and self-discovery to fill your inner world. This could be the beginning of a fuller, more meaningful life. I've seen it happen for so many others, and now it's your turn. Don't let this opportunity slip by. Click on the link pinned in the first comment and begin this journey with The Path of the Chosen. This is your chance to fill what's missing and finally live the life you deserve. I'll be waiting for you there. Universe is intriguing. When we are in harmony with our calling, we use our talents to make a difference in the world, whether that's via healing, inspiration, or some other way of bringing about change. Quite the opposite. The selected route is rife with obstacles. Herein is the intriguing contradiction that befalls the chosen, summoned to confront the furnace of reshaping, not to perish, but to rise even more resolute and cleansed. Being chosen is all about a sacred covenant, a promise that goes beyond this world and begins before you are born. Our exceptional talents are now burdened with responsibility as outlined in this contract. The idea that huge responsibility comes along with great power is something I've always believed to be true. On the path to enlightenment, this is among the most profound realities. A lifetime of honesty, modesty, and trust is required of every chosen one as part of their covenant with the divine. Going in a different direction has consequences for everyone who may be impacted by our goal, not just ourselves. Additionally, being chosen causes one's viewpoint to be magnified. People who are born into this vocation often have a sixth sense that lets them see and experience things that others miss. Having such sharp sensitivity is both a blessing and a burden, and the latter might leave one feeling alone at times. They are prepared for even larger demands by the experiences that contribute to their high vibration, which is both a blessing and a curse. Despite the feelings of loneliness we may have, we must remember that these trials are essential components of our spiritual development. In the face of adversity, they provide the groundwork that allows us to persevere and grow in our purpose. This is no accident. Rather, it is a never-ending process of preparation that makes us channels for the heavenly on this planet. The Chosen's journey is a complicated and beautiful dance of talents and obligations, and it reminds us of the strength of faith and unfaltering love for the purpose that has been given to us. As a crucial part of their journey, the Chosen One must navigate the great contrasts inherent in the duality of blessing and hardship. Having exceptional, one-of-a-kind abilities and perspectives may be really remarkable. Not only do they impact our lives, but they have the power to completely transform the lives of others around us. Being able to perceive and comprehend the world through our unique lens gives us a tremendous advantage, and it may also serve as a tremendous wellspring of ideas. Nevertheless, at the end of this path of enlightenment comes a difficult realization. Being a chosen is complicated, and part of that is dealing with the loneliness that comes with it. Despite being in the company of those we care about, It is strange how we may yet feel misunderstood. It's as if you're in a parallel universe, where your singular viewpoint and life events might sometimes plunge you into a pit of despair. But being alone isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes it's the perfect setting for concentration to flourish. There is a lot of strain and weight on our shoulders when we are carrying out a divine mission. When we commit our lives to a purpose bigger than ourselves, we face an unseen sea of potential outcomes, the effects of which we can only speculate. Our spiritual calling compels us to maintain unwavering honesty and resolve in the face of adversity. Every step of the way, you'll have to make tough decisions, but they'll be for the best. In times of stress and hardship, this same road fortifies the spirit. These intricate intersections of strengths and weaknesses are where spiritual progress manifests itself. Carrying huge loads while also bearing tremendous benefits is a fine balancing act. To live a life of meaning, we must bring ourselves into perfect harmony with our holy covenant. Our spiritual life may be flexible and at ease when this alignment is in place. When we are in tune with one another, our trajectory becomes easier, and the road ahead becomes more defined and abundant. Everybody has experienced those times when life just seems to fall into place, when people and circumstances align in a way that no one can quite put their finger on. But when you lose this harmony, it's like swimming against the river. You'll find that everything becomes more complicated and difficult. Recognizing the significance of spiritual practices that foster and sustain a vibrant relationship with the divine is of the utmost importance. For this continuous alignment process to work, it is crucial to have an open mind and heart. An invitation to a state of connection that both directs and renews us is extended when spiritual activities become important parts of our everyday lives. Making this promise every day helps us learn to be resilient and adaptable, which are essential qualities for our path as chosen. A sign of our ongoing spiritual growth is our remarkable capacity to adjust and improve when faced with adversity. There is little doubt that being chosen involves a delicate balancing act between blessing and responsibility, guiding us through trials that mold us into the people God intends us to be and the work He has for us to do. Delving into the profound impact of spiritual alignment on a chosen person's life exposes just how profound that effect is. Living in harmony with the sacred covenant that brought us to this unique position, and in harmony with the divine purpose, is what we mean when we talk about alignment. When we are in harmony with the divine, a spiritual energy flows through us, supporting our spirit and illuminating our path in everything that we do. Every stride becomes more peaceful and meaningful with the help of this song's direction and clarity. Rather than seeing this alignment as a pursuit of perfection, I see it as a continuous act of commitment. This crucial bond is strengthened through tenacity, as shown via regular spiritual activities such as meditation or times of quiet contemplation. We may cultivate the inner peace needed to fulfill our higher calling via these activities, which serve as portals to continuing communication with divine energy and frequent reminders of the path we choose to pursue. When your values are in harmony, you become an example for others around you to follow. When you live your life with intention and harmony, others around you are attracted to your sincerity and clarity. It gets me thinking about how this intense radiation is more of an invitation than a pedestal. Being an example of how to live in harmony with lofty spiritual ideals motivates others to do the same, increasing the likelihood that they may discover their own truths and purposes in life. As our focus shifts to helping others who are still seeking greater significance, the impact we have becomes even more significant. But when responsibilities grow, so does the weight of obligation. Being able to influence others means you have a heavy responsibility to lead with grace and discernment. Beyond illuminating his own way, a chosen person extends a helping hand to others around him, doing so not out of conceit, but of a desire to be of service. Our talents are gifts from God, and we must always keep in mind that they are for the benefit of others, not for our own egos. This is a profoundly aligned message. It's not enough to make a difference in our own lives. We must also learn to inspire others to find their own spiritual pathways and use that power to its fullest potential. I have a deeper respect for the spiritual path and its potential for good influence now that I know how powerful this force can be. Living in alignment involves committing to a never-ending cycle of giving and receiving, where one's own progress and the inspiration of others meet. It's a daily reminder of this. Alignment generates a positive loop that motivates us to improve and assist others in realizing their potential. The process of harmonizing is ultimately communal rather than individual. It has far-reaching effects that we influence via our everyday choices and deeds, even if we don't always recognize them. We encounter subtleties that are sometimes overlooked as we go into the realm of covert saboteurs that endanger the chosen. Without a shadow of a doubt, the honor of being chosen comes with the weighty duty of never wavering from the divine mission. Nevertheless, this link is dynamic. It demands our undivided attention at all times, since we face the danger of unseen influences that might mislead us. These dangers are not always easy to see. They hide behind actions that don't appear damaging or behind attitudes that don't seem important. The most sneaky destroyers are those who disguise as self-assurance and belief in one's own abilities. The road of service becomes an enticing pursuit of self-promotion when ego gets in the way of our dedication to divine purpose. It creates walls that keep us emotionally and spiritually apart from the people we ought to be helping. This skewed view of reality causes people to abuse their spiritual abilities for their own exaltation, which in turn blocks the grace of God. The security of the chosen position is also threatened by a lack of discipline, which appears as a significant influence. A steady hand of discipline holds our steps in harmony with the will of God. The bond with the divine becomes weaker in the absence of consistent spiritual activities like contemplation or meditation. We are no longer able to see clearly because disarray and detachment have replaced clear energy. In order to be true to ourselves, see clearly, and seize opportunities when they come, self-discipline is a must. Additionally, it is critical to be conscious of the poisonous connections and influences in one's own life. We prioritize the divine energy as chosen. You can't live in harmony with your genuine purpose while you're in a toxic relationship, because it drains your vitality and equilibrium. Fear and uncertainty are saboteurs at heart, and you must confront them with faith and bravery. These emotions have the potential to undermine our faith and mislead us about our capacity to fulfill the divine purpose. The first step in conquering these feelings is to recognize that they are there, to look closely at them, and to intentionally push beyond them. In order to remain in harmony with divine mission, it is essential to face fears with trust and to bring uncertainties to the surface. The path of the chosen one is fraught with internal challenges that need genuine resilience. Due to the immensely higher influence of the divine calling than one's own destiny, it is vital to deal with these inner problems. We have a bigger and more enduring impact on the world when we answer a spiritual calling. Those who follow the way of the chosen must comprehend and vanquish these unseen enemies, whose goals are inseparable from the quest to help others and bring about global transformation. Being on the lookout for these effects becomes second nature in our daily lives. Doing so calls for profound self-reflection and awareness. Regular meditation, introspection, or prayer not only fortifies this barrier, but also trains our minds to recognize when our egos or other distractions are attempting to sway us off our true path. Certainly, paying close attention to our mental state on a daily basis and practicing our capacity to detect when these factors are influencing us is an art that becomes better with time. Finding balance between spiritual self-care and unselfish service is key to the chosen one's path. While staying true to our mission, we must not lose sight of the fact that spirituality is a shared journey. We must expand this practice of self-vigilance and personal correction to a collective feeling of belonging and support, even when there are personal and interior elements that pose obstacles. Creating a space that encourages and supports your spiritual goals is another aspect of surrounding oneself with good influences. As pillars, spiritual groups, mentors, or accountability partners may help us stay on the path we've chosen and resist the damaging impact of silent forces. We may fortify ourselves against both internal and external threats by practicing self-discipline, creating healthy circumstances, and building a support system of believers. There is a perfect harmony between overcoming saboteurs and cultivating our spiritual practices. In this way, our individual development is in perfect harmony with the progress of our ultimate destiny. The real power of the chosen one emerges as they cross these rivers, not because they are unstoppable, but because they are alert and ready to stay loyal to the way the divine has chosen. Let us pause for a minute to reflect on the grace and power that are inherent in the path to being chosen. Every one of us has a radiance that, when cultivated with tender, loving care and constant watchfulness, may inspire and revolutionize the world around us. As we answer this call, we learn to be strong and vulnerable at the same time, which opens the door for the divine to work in us. Being a chosen one is lived out in every contact and inspiration that arises from this carefully maintained alignment, not simply in personal accomplishments. As we delve into the meaning of spiritual resilience, we come to understand its critical role in the path of the chosen one. In the face of the unavoidable challenges that will arise along the way, our capacity to persevere and overcome them is strengthened by this resilience. The full scope and intensity of the calling becomes apparent when we face and overcome the difficulties that arise. Crucial to this procedure is the cultivation of trust and submission. The chosen one discovers strength by letting go and going with the flow of heavenly power, in contrast to others who seek safety via control. This giving up is not the same as acquiescence. In the face of ambiguous guidance, it is about actively participating in maintaining faith. By letting go, we fortify ourselves spiritually and emotionally to weather any tempests that may come our way. Developing this spiritual resilience also requires being present. One of the requirements of being chosen is learning to live in the here and now. Being present allows us to tap into our intuitive knowledge, which is priceless when faced with uncertainty. Even when everything else around us is unclear, this mindfulness practice helps us to decide what to do next. When we understand that our inner power comes from our conscious connection with the divine and not from outside forces, which may be unpredictable and unstable, we are better able to stay grounded and in the here and now. Essential support and encouragement are provided by the community, which plays a crucial role in this environment. We may learn and grow from one another when we surround ourselves with others who believe in and support our spiritual goal. These ties are more than just personal. They strengthen our capacity to bounce back from adversity. It is crucial to carefully choose the companions we bring along on our spiritual path so that these connections can support and feed our spiritual energy. In the end, accepting change as inevitable is key to developing spiritual resilience. A chosen one's path is not a fixed one, but rather an evolving one that calls for humility in the face of all kinds of challenges. We become more in harmony with our divine purpose when we allow ourselves to be changed in this continual process. We come out on the other side with a fresh sense of purpose and a revitalized will to succeed. Not only does it help us continue on our trip, but it also lights the way for others and demonstrates that the Spirit is the source of real power. We may create a never-ending circle of spiritual development and satisfaction for everyone we encounter by tapping into this resilience and inspiring others to do the same. It's amazing how strength in spirit can bring us harmony, allowing us to meet the world with a spirit of openness and a mind fortified by life's lessons. We are able to not only stay the course, but also serve as role models for others, thanks to this equilibrium. We inspire people to follow in our footsteps by demonstrating the strength of a spirit that can bend but never shatter. It is a beautiful thing to realize that no matter how dark things go, our inner light will keep shining and giving us hope. Every difficulty is a chance for growth and learning, and the confidence that comes from knowing our purpose well equips us to face them head-on. Our perspective on life changes as we learn to see challenges as opportunities for personal development. Challenges are opportunities, not threats, to grow spiritually and get a better grasp of ourselves and our place in the world. Thus, spiritual resilience is more than just a means of survival. It is the secret to experiencing life to the fullest, relishing in every moment, the good and the bad, as a vital component of the heavenly path. When we put ideas like trust, surrender, and presence into practice, it helps us grow as individuals and also has a ripple effect on people around us, fostering an atmosphere of mutual support and spiritual development. In the midst of this cosmic waltz of difficulties and progress, we are always changing. As time goes on, our understanding of who we are and how we fit into the universe grows. There are many discoveries and insights to be had on this path. Our dedication to spiritual activity is strengthened, and our hearts are comforted by these times of clarity and revelation. Our influence will endure so long as we pay heed to the constant summons to spiritual growth. The effect is like dropping a pebble into a placid lake. The waves will go out in every direction. Our own journeys and the collective's vibrational field are both enhanced when we master the art of spiritual resilience cultivation. All that we do is with the intention of bringing about transformation, healing, and togetherness. This enduring spiritual testament, filled with love, knowledge, and power, stands as a testimony to the meaning of living in harmony with greater truth and purpose. Moving forward, we extend an invitation to others around us to discover and cultivate their own resilience. May our shared journey bring about a world that is more enlightened and peaceful. Devoting oneself to the practice of spiritual attunement entails committing to a profound and continuous process of harmonizing with the divine and the flow of cosmic energy. And continual commitment to listening and sensitively responding to inner summons is the foundation of this attunement for the chosen, which transcends ordinary recognized methods. As we go along, the importance of actively listening becomes clear. It is essential to cultivate the skill of attentive listening in a world when diversions abound. This listening goes beyond just hearing what someone says. It also includes tuning into the nudges and musings from inside. Silence and reflection are prerequisites for this kind of listening, which allows for the clarity that is crucial for the manifestation of intuition and divine revelations. The holy, a priceless place where divine messages become audible and one's actions might be in harmony with this higher direction, is found in quiet. Attunement training also emphasizes energetic harmony. The key to keeping a clean connection is limiting and balancing your unique energy field. Spiritual energy may be strengthened and cleansed by practices including breathing exercises, yoga, tai chi, and meditation. By releasing any bad or sluggish energy via them, we may return to a place of openness and let the divine flow through us without restriction. Arranging one's physical and emotional surroundings also surely has a major impact. You may create an environment that is conducive to your spiritual path by surrounding yourself with things that are beautiful, natural, and have a high vibration. Spiritual growth is possible in an environment that is conducive to a balanced diet, frequent introspection, and processing of emotions. A daily commitment is required to analyze this dynamic from a transforming viewpoint via spiritual attunement. This act of devotion serves as a constant reminder that the link with the divine is precious and needs constant care and attention. A spiritual notebook may be an invaluable resource for those seeking enlightenment. It is illuminating to keep track of one's experiences, ideas, and personal development over time, since this might reveal themes or patterns. In addition to bringing attention to key takeaways, this activity heightens comprehension of the various stages of the trip. Thus, attunement becomes a discovery-rediscovery dance, bringing us into harmony with our chosen purpose and illuminating new avenues for living out our vocation in our daily lives and the world at large. As we open ourselves up spiritually, we come to understand that this constant opening up is a voyage of self-discovery. Our unwavering will to fulfill our life's greatest calling is shown by this journey of introspection and communion with the divine. As we go forward, we create opportunities to answer the call in our own special manner, which changes our lives and the lives of those whose lives we illuminate. Spiritual attunement has the capacity to change our lives and the lives of others we come into contact with because it is a continual demonstration of the divine, which is inherent in all deliberate decisions and inspired deeds.